Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas, and I'm going to say some words now which may upset a few people. You may not be happy with it, you might think differently, but here goes. Fallout 5 will fail. Okay, look, I've done some of these videos in the past where I said X will fail, or X was a success, or X didn't fail, whatever. You know, I've talked about games, and I've talked about products like the PS5 Pro, Switch 2. I've talked about Resident Evil 9. I've talked about why things will fail, why they won't fail. But Fallout 5 is a bit of a different case. So you've got to look at the Fallout franchise, where it started, where it is now. You've also got to look at the team that makes Fallout, what they do, what they don't do, and the other things they have done. Fallout has been one of those games, or one of those franchises, I should say, that has existed for decades at this point. We haven't had a mainline Fallout game for 10 years. That is an insurmountable amount of time. It's just incredible to think that we haven't had something so popular in 10 years. Yes, we have Fallout 76. A lot of people don't consider that a mainline Fallout game. That was a disaster, but that is somewhat linked to why Fallout 5 will fail. Now, before we even get Fallout 5, we've been told that we're going to get the Elder Scrolls 6. It's been 13 years since we've had the Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, 13 years today, the Elder Scrolls 6 came out. Yes, 11th of November 2011. What on earth? 13 years? I mean, by anyone's standards, it doesn't take 13 years to make a game. But this is just the problem. Bethesda takes far too long to make a game. And by the time they finish it, the ideas, mechanics, and everything they create is outdated. It's in the past. It's gone. Look at, not Fallout, Starfield. That's the one. I couldn't think of what it was called then. Look at Starfield. Starfield is, by all rights, a great game if it had come out 7 years ago. This is the problem with Bethesda. They take too long. They have all these ambitions, but they just don't pay off in the end. Starfield took many, many years. In fact, I think it took roughly a decade from start to finish, probably more than a decade from start to finish. If you look at Fallout 4, they started Fallout 4 round about the time of Fallout 3 coming out, which was around about 7 years. And okay, that's fine. It takes 7 years to make a really, really good game. Fallout 4 was great. It was really, really good. And if you say it wasn't, then go back and play it. By some standards, it's not very good. But by most standards, it is. Look at the games that come out these days and how flawed they are, how terrible they are. I mean, compare Fallout 76 to Concord. Which is better? Look, I made a video saying Concord wasn't a failure. Of course it was a failure. That video wasn't titled wrong. It was trying to say more about the idea of what Concord was the failure rather than Concord itself. But that's beside the point. Fallout 76 was considered a failure, but it's really, really good now. It's sorted itself out, and it's a lot of fun to play. So if you haven't played Fallout 76 because of the negativity, go and play it. Go and enjoy yourself. It's not that bad. It's good fun. Anyway, Fallout 5 will fail because of Bethesda. If you look at the people behind the creators of Fallout 3, Fallout 4, they're not really going to be the same people that make Fallout 5. People come and go from jobs. Todd Howard, the mind behind all of this, he's getting on a bit. He's getting old. He's not going to be around for Fallout 6. I can tell you that now. He'll have retired by then, unless he's like Shigeru Miyamoto, who just keeps going and going and going. Shigeru Miyamoto's like a robot. I swear he isn't human. That man will be developing games when he's 200 years old. Anyway, the ideas and premise behind Fallout 5 are going to be outdated. This is what is going to make the game fail miserably. Yes, okay, look, miserably is going to be a really harsh word to use there. I don't mean it in that sense. I've no doubt it's going to be a great game. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to play when it comes out in, 2033. I mean, realistically, that is when it's going to come out, 2033. We've still got another 8-9 years to go before we even see this thing. But it is going to be good. Starfield, yeah, for all the negativity it got, was a good game. It was fun to play. Fallout 4, yeah, that got negativity, but not as much as every subsequent game after. Starfield, I think, made people open their eyes to Bethesda and think, hang on, you're taking too long to make this garbage. And let's face it, like I said, for how long they took to make Starfield and the way it was, just don't align. If they'd have rushed development, it wouldn't have really mattered. Like I said, if it had come out years ago, Starfield would have been okay. But, that's not an acceptable standard to say, rush a game, get it out. It's better than a long game. Miyamoto said something along the lines of, a rushed game is forever terrible, but a delayed game ends up good. So something along those lines. And I suppose that holds true to some degree, but not for Bethesda. Bethesda games still come out broken and buggy, and alright, fair enough, Starfield was probably the least broken and least buggy game that they've ever released, but it still took way too long to make. But then that brings us to the Elder Scrolls 6. How long does it feasibly take to make the Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, how big is it? People are going to judge it when it comes out because of how long it's taken between Skyrim and whatever Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be called. But if you look at the likes of Oblivion or Morrowind, the dev time on those was much shorter, and they were really good games. Okay, Skyrim was fantastic as well. Of course it was fantastic. But they've milked that to death. Just let it go, Bethesda. Just let Skyrim go, move on, and start working on the Elder Scrolls 6. Surely the Elder Scrolls 6 is in full-on development now. It might even be winding down, ready for release, maybe 2025. Hopefully 2025, not 2026. If it comes out 2026, then I think we can feasibly say that we will not get Fallout 5 this generation of consoles. It will be on the next Xbox. There's just no way it will be this generation. So we're looking 2030s. It has to be, considering the amount of time Bethesda takes. But ultimately, this all kind of comes together as the reasons why Fallout 5 will fail. It's taken too long. Interest has waned because of whatever Bethesda has done in between. The mechanics they're going to use and ideas they've created are going to be outdated and may not even be acceptable in today's world. The ethics of the world change all the time, like from day to day, depending on who's being elected, who's in power, what wars have been started, what people feel, what people want to identify as. These things are all real things that happen in the world, and they can impact games tremendously. If you look at something like Forspoken, I don't know why that failed, but people tell me because of it was trying to be too much, not pandering, but you get the idea. It was trying to be too much of something when it didn't really need to be. These ethics in the world today do affect games, and game developers have to be careful. So if Bethesda have tried using anything like that, I don't know, the mutants that people want. It could be anything. There's so much involved. I'm not going to get into the ethics of the world. It's too complicated for one man, I'll be honest. But it's things like this that could make Fallout 5 fail. But the biggest thing is dev time and outdatedness. It's a shame. It's a shame. But it's like I'm predicting the future 8 years ahead at this point. Anyway, what do you think about Fallout 5? Do you think it is going to fail? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Do you think it's going to blow everything out the water? Do you think it's going to be the best Fallout game ever created? I personally don't, but I'm still going to play it. Don't get me wrong, I love Fallout. I'm still going to play it and I'm going to enjoy it. But if Fallout 5 turns out to be Monopoly, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I love that game. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.